This is Matt Hartley.
How's it going, everybody?
I'm Robin Miller here for Phosphorus, and we're talking with Matt about, well, what he does with Linux. He's been writing about it and using it for a number of years. And for Datamation, for one thing, big time there. And he's big on the Ubuntu forum. So I guess I don't need to ask, Matt, what Linux distro do you use?
At this point, I'm using Ubuntu Mate. That has been my go-to distribution. Works for me, does what I want it to.
How about Fedora?
You know, I've stuck my toes in Fedora a number of times, and I always find myself either it's a package management thing for me, and I'm an apt guy, and so I always find myself kind of going either Debian or Ubuntu or somewhere in that space.
Or as they say, once you go apt, you never go back. Yes,
that's it.
So, what other FOSS turns you on?
Oh, goodness. For me, I'm mostly desktop centered. You know, anything with laptops, desktops, things of that sort, and peripherals and how they work with the desktops. I enjoy trying to look at what's going on, find a common problem, and then see if I can find an uncommon solution, preferably making a big to-do about it in an article if everything goes right.
Okay, such as? Give me an example.
One of my earliest examples was, remember way back when Flash was a thing that you had to have a wrapper for, and all, it was like a big headache. And even at that point, you're looking at a Bruce Lee movie when you're trying to watch audio. Well, I figured out early on how you could actually time out ALSA in such a way to where you can actually sync up the audio so that everything was in sync when you were playing it. That was an early thing I did, working kind of in a backward sort of way with Linspire. Didn't work for them. I just offered some advice to them. They were excited about it because they didn't have a clue what they're doing anyway. And it all worked out. So it's like, all right, cool. I actually got started writing for Locker Gnome. Chris Perillo. I actually, he was actually at my wedding. We used to be pretty close. Worked very closely together. That was an interesting thing, and it was a good time. You know, we had a lot of good times. They went through a massive restructuring, and of course, very much similar to your Slashdot experiences, almost to the letter. And I moved on to other things, and it was kind of time to do my own thing. Running my own website now called freedompenguin.com.
I have seen that. So you and Christine, Phosphorus, where this is going, competitors.
We are, but we're really good friends. We rapidly share each other's content, and she'll like ping me for insights onto something. I might ping her for insights onto something. So we're technically competitors, but we tend to hit different beats. She's more into news, and I'm more into whatever random whatnot that I fall into. So
right. And so we don't look for a cage death match.
No. If anything, we would be tag team members against whoever else.
Oh.
We be taking on the bad guys. I mean, we're so much, Phosphorus and Freedom Penguin are so much doing they're so complementary in that facet. It's really great because we don't do any news. Not really.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you a question that I could answer, but I want your take because you're not me. I'm not you.
Totally.
Namely, so covering or writing about Linux and free and open source software. How has it changed in the last decade?
Well, I think the biggest change that I've seen is that you can go to a forum and as a newer user and ask a question, and with the exception of the Arch forums, you're not going to be attacked. People don't come away feeling like they're stupid or foolish or could have used a search function. I feel like people are a little more receptive to taking someone under their wing and working with them. That's probably the single biggest change I've seen outside of kernel advancements, hardware detection, hit or miss on sound systems, things of that sort.
How to install Linux? Download from, I don't know, Ubuntu, maybe? Burn to CD or DVD. Set BIOS, stick in.
Exactly.
Sit there. That's it.
And you're not even married to it. I mean, it's like essentially you get to take it out for dinner and then drop it off at their house when you're done. I mean, that's essentially what the experience is. It's a live distribution. You can decide to make it a permanent thing, but you're not married to it. That's a really cool experience. I think sets Linux apart from other operating systems.
And what do you think is the next beat in all this?
Boy, I think the next thing that all of us as end users are looking to conquer or to see happen probably is going to be getting more casual folks exposed to the Linux experience, a little less exposure to Google's interpretation of it as far as like Chromebooks. Good luck with that, I know, but especially with them being in schools now. But I think that by just having more of a presence, like we used to with lugs, for example, people would bring their laptops to us and whatnot. I don't know if that's a kiosk in the mall or, like a little booth or something, or if we start showing up at county fairs, giving prizes away. Here, have a Tux Penguin. I don't know. But I feel like there needs to be a little bit more in the real space in that area. And I would like to see that happen. And I at some point would like to start looking at doing that myself.
And yet, my wife, who has a Chromebook, and she likes it. She does email. She looks at websites. She watches Netflix movies a lot. That's what a Chromebook is for. That's what she uses it for. Now, she doesn't think about it at all ever.
Yep. It's because
it's the holy grail of computing. Why should she do anything else? How do we talk somebody like Debbie?
Boy, you would have to almost find something that's not, it's either a frustration point or there's got to be a pain point for them to want to seek something else. And that's the problem with something like a Chromebook. Short of dropping it in the dishwasher, you're not going to break it. You're not going to get a virus or something, right? I outside of getting mad at it, throwing it away, you really can't do anything to it. I think it would be probably online versus offline applications. Maybe that's where that kind of the rubber hits the road. Maybe it's experiencing new applications that really gets people excited, that Linux offers, that you're looking at add-ons into a Chrome browser otherwise. I think it's just kind of got to be a hands-on thing. You got to park them in front of it and be like, this is something you're not doing now. Is this cool or not?